Welcome to the Dark Mysteries podcast, where we tell dark and mysterious stories. If you like the dark and mysterious, hit that like and subscribe button to help support the channel. Tonight, I want to tell you a story, a true story actually, about a young woman named Maura Murray. She vanished in the cold of a New Hampshire night, leaving behind this trail of unanswered questions that, well, they still haunt us, even now, 2 decades later.
Yeah, it's one of those cases, isn't it? And what's fascinating right from the start is how quickly this seemingly normal picture, it just starts to unravel. You mentioned February 2004, New England, that image, that cold, isolated landscape, it really sets a stage for, well, vulnerability.
It absolutely does. Maura was just 21, a nursing student at UMass Amherst, and you hear this description. People called her an all-American girl, model student, athlete, loving daughter. She'd even been to West Point before transferring, had plans, a boyfriend, Billy, stationed in Oklahoma. It seemed pretty typical.
On the surface, yes, but you mentioned these whispers of troubles beneath that surface.
Exactly. Like leaving West Point, the circumstances, they're still pretty unclear. Some people suggest maybe an honor code violation. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, about the pressures she might have been feeling or maybe secrets she was carrying.
It really does. It makes you think about how we often, create these simple stories about people, especially when they look successful. But the reality is always, well, usually much more complicated. Messier. That lack of clarity around West Point that feels like maybe the first little crack in that all-American image.
And it wasn't the only thing. Just months before she disappeared, there was this legal issue, improper use of a credit card.
Oh, right. I remember reading about that.
Yeah, and the arrest record, it was public for a bit, but now it's gone. You can't access it.
Which just adds another layer of, well, questions. Why make that inaccessible now? It feels like pieces are being obscured.
Right. It's like, okay, these earlier things, leaving West Point, the credit card thing, maybe they don't directly explain her disappearance.
But they could point to underlying stress, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Patterns in her life that are important context for what happened later. Definitely worth considering.
Totally. Then, in the days right before February 9th, things get really unsettling. On February 5th, just a few days earlier, she had this intense emotional breakdown. She was at her campus security job on the phone with her sister, Kathleen.
And her supervisor found her.
Yeah, found her apparently catatonic, just like unresponsive, had to escort her back to her dorm. That's a pretty major red flag.
A huge one. A breakdown like that suggests some really profound emotional turmoil. You have to wonder what triggered it, what was said on that call.
We just don't know. And after this breakdown, her behavior gets even stranger. She starts packing up her dorm room, but not just like a few things for a trip.
No, like everything.
Pretty much. Boxing up most of her possessions, taking artwork off the walls systematically.
Wow.
And on top of these boxes, they found an email to her boyfriend, Billy, hinting at relationship problems.
Okay, so packing everything up, an email hinting at trouble. It paints a picture of someone maybe preparing to leave. But leave for where?
That's the million-dollar question. Was it a physical move she was planning or something more symbolic, like trying to shed her current life?
The pack stuff and the email, they definitely suggest a deliberate decision to change something. But what exactly? The ambiguity is just chilling.
Then comes February 9th, that Monday. There's a snowstorm, classes are canceled. And that's the day she emails her professors. Says there's been a death in the family, she won't be in class for the week.
But that wasn't true, was it?
Not at all. It was a lie. No one in her family had died.
So she's creating a cover story.
Seems like it. She also did some online searches, directions, I think, and called a Vermont rental property. But again, nothing concrete, no booking.
Just exploring options, maybe.
Yeah.
But the lie is significant. It suggests she wanted to disappear without, raising immediate alarm. Calculated.
Calculated is a good word for it. So that day, February 9th, she gets in her car, a black 1996 Saturn, and leaves the UMass campus. Later that evening, around 7:30 p.m., she's way up in New Hampshire, Haverhill, Route 112, over 100 miles from her dorm.
And that's where the accident happened.
Yeah, a single vehicle accident. Her car went off the road. A local bus driver, Butch Atwood, he sees the car, stops.
Right, offers help.
Offers help, yeah. But Maura reportedly refuses, says she's already called AAA.
Which is strange because cell service up there is notoriously bad, right? Almost non-existent in some spots on that road.
Exactly. That detail casts serious doubt on her claim. Was she just trying to get him to leave? To handle it herself?
It certainly seems possible, wanting to avoid interaction. Maybe it's odd.
Atwood felt uneasy about it. He went home, but he called the police anyway.
Good for him.
Yeah. But by the time the police arrived, maybe 15, 20 minutes later, around 7:46 p.m., Maura was gone.
Gone.
Vanished. The car was still there, facing the wrong direction, against traffic, doors locked.
Doors locked.
Yeah.
And inside.
Inside, they found some red stains, looked like maybe wine had spilled, but no Maura. And the only thing missing from the car was her wallet.
Wallet missing, doors locked. That points in so many directions. Did she take the wallet intending to walk somewhere? Or was it taken from her?
That's the crux of it, isn't it? And despite huge searches, tracking dogs, they lost her scent after only about 100 yards from the car.
100 yards? That's not far at all.
Nope. It's like she just stopped existing beyond that point on the road.
Which strongly suggests you got into another vehicle, doesn't it? Either willingly or not.
That's what most people think. Initially, the police kind of treated it like maybe she just walked away, a voluntary disappearance.
But 2 decades with zero contact. That seems highly unlikely now.
Extremely unlikely. Some people still hold on to that theory that she engineered this whole thing to start a new life somewhere else.
It's possible, I suppose, but very difficult to pull off perfectly.
Her father, Fred Murray, he's never believed that. He's adamant she was abducted. He's worked tirelessly, relentlessly, just trying to keep her case in the public eye, find answers.
You have to admire his dedication. That limited scent trail, though, that 100 yards, that's such a critical piece. It really focuses the possibilities around that spot on the road.
And something else that adds to the unease around this case are the similarities to other unsolved disappearances in that general region.
You mean like Molly Bish and Brianna Maitland?
Exactly. Molly Bish, she vanished from her lifeguard job in Massachusetts back in 2000. Her remains were found years later, but her murder's still unsolved.
And Brianna Maitland, she disappeared in Vermont just about a month after Maura. Her car was also found abandoned, about 100 miles from Maura's crash site.
Yeah, the parallels are disturbing. Now, no definitive link has ever been proven between these cases.
But the geographical and temporal proximity, the abandoned cars, it's hard not to see potential connections. Even if they're just coincidences, it deepens that sense of unease about the area.
Definitely. And over the years, Maura's case has just captivated people. Books, podcasts, TV shows, endless online forums dissecting every single detail.
Amateur detectives, everyone trying to find that one missed clue.
Yeah, and there have been more recent searches, too. Like in 2019, they excavated a basement in a house nearby, one that had been searched before, actually.
But nothing came of it.
Nothing. No new evidence. It just highlights how persistent this mystery is, how elusive the truth remains.
That enduring public fascination, it really speaks to the power of the unknown, doesn't it? When there are no clear answers, people keep searching. Hope never quite dies.
So here we are, nearly 2 decades on, still asking the same fundamental questions. What really happened to Maura Murray on that cold February night? Did she run away? Start a new life?
Or was it an accident? Maybe she got lost in the woods, succumbed to the elements, though the scent trail makes that less likely near the car.
Or was it foul play? Did someone stop, offer help, and then harm her? Was she abducted from the roadside?
So many possibilities, and frustratingly little evidence to point firmly in one direction.
It's a story that just continues to baffle, and honestly, it's deeply saddening. A young woman with her whole life ahead of her, just gone.
So what are your theories about what happened to Maura? We discuss new stories every Monday, so don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment and tell us stories you think we should discuss in the future on the Dark Mysteries podcast.